There's an old joke on Wall Street. The best way to make a small fortune is to start with a large one. But what if the game was set up so that one entire generation started with a large one and everyone else started with, well, with your student loan statement? According to MarketWatch, there has never been a generation like the baby boomers, and there probably never will be again. They are, by a huge margin, the richest generation in history. It's not just a little more, it's a different planet of wealth. And if you've ever looked at your parents' life story, buy a house on a single salary, no college debt, a pension waiting at the end, and then looked at your own and felt a rising sense of panic, you are not crazy. You're just noticing the scoreboard. You see the headlines every day. Your rent is up. Your grocery bill looks like a phone number. That house you wanted to buy? The asking price just jumped again. You're working harder, you're more educated, and yet you feel like you're falling behind. Because you are. The rules your parents played by, they don't exist anymore. This isn't about blaming individuals. It's not about your Uncle Bob's great stock pick in the 80s. This is about the architecture of the system itself. A system that built a launch pad for one generation and then, quietly, dismantled it before you got your turn. So the question we have to ask is not just, how did this happen? The real question is, was the American dream a one-time offer? A limited-time promotion that expired right before you were born? Because it sure feels like you and I are being asked to pay full price for a product our parents got for free. And the people who designed the price tag are long gone. They cashed out. They retired. And they left you the bill. Over the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 3 hidden economic engines that created this gap. Not the ones they teach you about in school. The real ones. The ones that decide whether you own a home or rent forever. Whether you retire with dignity or work until you drop. This isn't just history. This is about your bank account. Right now. All right, let's get into the mechanics of the machine. How did one generation hit the jackpot while the next is stuck paying for the casino? It comes down to 3 things: retirement, housing, and education. Let's start with retirement. Your grandparents likely had something called a pension, a defined benefit plan. You work for a company for 30 years, you retire, and they send you a check every month until you die. Simple. The risk was on the company. For you, you have a 401k, a defined contribution plan. You put your money in, you pray the market goes up, and you hope you don't outlive your savings. The risk is 100% on you. The safety net was sold for parts. Next, housing. The math used to be simple. The median home price was about 2 to 3 times the median yearly income. It was affordable. Today, that ratio is through the roof in most major cities. You need an income that's 6, even 10 times the price of a starter home. A home that's smaller than the one you grew up in. So while one generation saw their house become a winning lottery ticket, you're just hoping to afford the ticket to get in the door. And finally, the entry fee to the whole game. Education. The cost of college has outpaced inflation by an astronomical amount. Your parents could work a summer job to pay for a semester. You work a full-time job just to pay the interest on your loans. They graduated with a degree and an opportunity. You graduated with a degree and a decade of debt. Each of these things, pensions, housing, education, is a massive headwind. Together, they are a perfect storm. Okay, this gets complicated, but give me 30 seconds of your focus.
Pull up your bootstraps.
Here's how this actually works. Imagine 2 people running a marathon. The first runner gets a 10-mile head start. The course is flat. and there are water stations every mile. That was the boomer economy. Now, it's your turn. The starting line is 10 miles back. The entire race is uphill, and you have to carry your own water. That's your economy. The shift from pensions to 401ks was moving the finish line farther away. The explosion in housing costs was making the race uphill. The crushing student debt is like starting the race with a 50-pound weight chained to your ankle. It's not that you're a slower runner. The course itself was redesigned to be nearly impossible. So when you hear someone say, "Just work harder," or "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps," remember this: their bootstraps weren't attached to a mountain of debt. Their race wasn't rigged from the start. This wasn't an accident. It was a series of policy choices and economic shifts that benefited one group at the direct expense of another. The prosperity wasn't created out of thin air. It was borrowed from your future. So, was the American dream a one-time offer? The hard truth is yes. For a specific generation, in a specific window of time, the economic conditions were so favorable, it was like playing a video game on easy mode. That's not an opinion. It's just the data. The dream of a single-income household. A paid-off mortgage, a secure retirement, and debt-free kids. That wasn't a universal promise. It was a historical anomaly. And we are living in the hangover. Why does this matter to your wallet? It matters because it explains why you feel like you're running in place. It's why your paycheck evaporates the second it hits your account. This isn't a personal failure. It's the result of playing a game where the difficulty was ramped up to expert level without telling you. The financial stress you feel every single day is a symptom of this systemic shift. You're not imagining it. The game is, in fact, harder now. So what happens next? All of that concentrated wealth has to go somewhere. The financial world calls it the Great Wealth Transfer. Over the coming decades, trillions of dollars will be passed down. For a select few, this will be the biggest inheritance in human history. For everyone else, it could make the wealth gap even wider, cementing a new kind of aristocracy. This transfer is the catalyst. It's the next major event that will define the economic landscape for the rest of your life. The story of our economy is simple. One generation was given the keys to the kingdom. The next was handed the bill for its upkeep. They weren't villains. They were just lucky. But the system they benefited from is now your burden. They climbed a ladder and then pulled it up behind them. Your job is to figure out how to build a new one.